Hello, my name is Jason Skill. This is Painting with Skill Lesson 8. This lesson looks at two of the main problems that students have that I observe them doing and try to get them to get out of so that they can improve their watercolour painting. And this is really about the first kind of making marks and what they do. The first really and the second are about confidence, trying to build your confidence. One of the main things that people do first is that they will make a mark over and over and over again. I call this the there method of painting. It's sort of there, and painting it there, and painting it there. Or you could think of it as almost like some kind of massaging, like, you know, somebody's been a little bit hurt and it's all there. It makes them feel better by repeating the same mark. Now, it's so inefficient. You need to be able to make the mark and leave it alone. You need to look, think, put, move on. Let's look at what they do even before they get to the point where they're putting the marks on with the there approach. They will load the brush, and the there approach happens here in the palette, so that they will dip the brush in the paint that they've made, and then they will do there on the side of the palette, over and over and over and over again, until they've got virtually all of the paint out of the brush. So you've got to kind of slow things down and be a little bit more level-headed. You slow down the heart rate a bit and just dip in and maybe just say a couple of times on the side of the palette and then paint the mark. The other one you'll see people do is they'll load it and then they'll wipe it on a piece of kitchen roll or sponge, so that they're basically wiping half the paint off with there before they then put it on here, and now it's dry. So the main thing to do in the first instance is load it, slightly take the excess off. If you don't take the excess off, then it might dribble and drop before you get onto the painting. So yes, it's sensible just to take the excess off, but not over and over and over again, or wiping it over and over again and drying out the brush. The second one that people do is painting without thought. So they just sort of cover something with no plan. They just almost scribble with the brush. Now if you imagine that you ask them to fill a square, so let's quickly paint the shape of a square on a piece of paper. They'll load the brush and then they kind of just scribble it anywhere with no system to it. One of the first things you need to do in painting is be, with watercolour particularly, a little bit more systematic. So let's paint that square. And this time I'm going to think that I'm going to paint it from the top to the bottom in slices. So I'll paint the first mark, I may reload or just carry on, see how far the brush will go, holding the paint until I feel that it's beginning to dry out, and then I may load it again and then continue down the page. And there we get to the end, it's done. It wasn't erratically done and then having to fill the bits you've missed. To do that effectively, one of the core things, the core skill of watercolour painting is being able to paint a straight line. Right? Now, a horizontal straight line is hugely important. It's effective in flat washes, graded washes, how you'll create banks of hillsides and a whole other raft of things within watercolour painting. So, I am not painting this with my body, my arm tight to my body. I am basically going to try and move me with the brush. Now notice how I'm making the brush drag behind where I'm going. So the woodwork of this brush is aiming in the direction that the line is intending to go. So I move me when I make that line. I am not doing this. I'm not going there until I get to the other end. I'm looking at where I intend to go and I'm moving it. And I may be moving me. So when I'm doing a large area, let's look at that square again, and I go to fill it, then I'm going to do me again, I move, so there's kind of a rhythm to my movements as I paint. You'll notice that my shoulders are moving, I'm moving, I'm not painting from my arm against my body. If you do that, the mark will not be straight. You need to move, and I'm not also, if you notice, holding the brush like a pencil. I'm letting that drag behind me. So I'm pulling the hair of the brush. Now if you concentrate on just those two things when you begin painting, think systematically, don't panic, don't repeat the same mark 100 times, then you'll get on with painting a great deal faster. Okay? That was lesson 8, and in lesson 9 I'll look at further ideas for making marks and using the brush.